Your brother's been pretty outspoken. He's been a critic of Floyd Mayweather. He's not a fan of his, right? What's your take on Floyd? Are you with your brother on that?
No, I'm not with my brother on that, man. You know, I mean, I'm all about a winner, man. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather, he wrote his own ticket. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather, you know, he called his own shots. You know what I mean? He could have, you know, stayed under that Bob Arum banner, you know, and stayed in the back seat and just rode and made a little bit of money. But he said, no, I'm gonna step out and, you know, believe in my talent. You know, and he went out there, you know, from the beginning, you know, from his first world championship. You know, I can't remember that Mexican he went out there and fought, man, but that Mexican was bad. Gennaro Hernandez, yeah, that's who it was, Gennaro Hernandez. And I'm going to tell you, to go out there and beat that man and then to move on to who he became and then to play it safe, you know, and then to get all of the money and, you know, to get all of the fame and fortune to go with it, you know, and then to leave this game with an undefeated record, you know, that's unheard of, you know what I mean? So I think he played his game the way he wanted to, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, it's a prize fight. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, go in and try and make as much money as you possibly can. You know, that's exactly what that guy did.
Yeah, and one of the things that Floyd Mayweather's been criticized, and you know, I was mad at him when he did this to Marquez because he came in overweight, and then he just paid off Marquez, you know, for coming in overweight, and he was way bigger than him in the fight. But Floyd Mayweather, besides the fact that he's an extremely gifted boxer.
I remember that fight. I remember that fight right there.
Right.
Floyd was much bigger in that fight, you know. And that was a Marquez, you know, maybe that was a Marquez mistake. Maybe Marquez should have said, no, let me step away from this
right.
fight. But when it's a lot of dollars, when it's a lot of exactly. When it's a lot of money involved, you know, Floyd Mayweather, that's why I say again, you know, they're being able to call his own shots by coming in overweight and say, hey man, you're gonna take this money or what? You know what I mean? That's what it's really truly all about.
Right. And he's the dirtiest player in the game, bro. And that's why he'll say, I want this ref, I want this size ring, I want these gloves. He's gonna get every advantage that he can on you and mentally break you down. You know what I'm saying? Then when you go in there, then when you get in there, Book, here's the other part. Then when you get in there, because, you know, you're a real boxing fan. When you get in there, you're going up against a guy whose defense is above Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, above Wilfredo the Raider Benitez. You know, you can't hit him.
It's like the Matrix, man. He's like the Matrix of boxing, you know, and they have all the advantages, like you say, you know, size of the ring, certain referees, whatnot, making sure guys don't hold, you know, and do certain tactics, you know. So, I look at the Conor McGregor fight, you know, with Floyd, you know, and they made sure Conor McGregor was not going to be able to hold and do dirty tactics. Yeah, and if you noticed it from the outset, because Bird said, hey, he was looking at Conor McGregor and said, hey, don't you do this. Don't you do that? Do you understand me, Mr. McGregor? You know, he didn't say anything to Floyd. So it was definitely the fix was the head, man.
Yeah, but you know what I do think watching that fight, Book, and I just thought for sure they got into a room and they were like, look, if you knock this guy out quick, that's going to end up you guys ever having a rematch or anybody else doing this ever again. And I think he held them up for like 8 rounds and then knocked them out.
Me and Jarrett were having a conversation in Impact one time. I was asked to tell me if you agree with this. With all the time you put in on TV in matches, like if you were doing 2-segment matches, you know, all that, all the time you put in house shows, okay? WCW, from the time Nitro started to the Nitro ended, would you say that me and Jarrett said that you probably had more ring time than any wrestler in WCW over that period of time? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, because you never got hurt, right? You were like me and like stuff. Like we never got hurt.
I got my knee scoped, you know, a couple of times in my career, and I pretty much had a injury-free career, especially through WCW. I was like the Iron Man there. You know, my thing was I was going to win. I always used to feel like I would win by attrition, you know, in WCW as well as WWE. I thought I would win by attrition because I thought most guys, you know, they weren't going to be able to weather the storm. They was going to get hurt. You know, I said the title's going to have to come my way because somebody's going to get hurt. You know what I mean? And the thing is, a lot of guys work to get hurt. You know, I watch a lot of young guys today that go out there and work to get hurt. For myself, I was always working not to get hurt. I always was trying to perform more than work. And so everything was meticulous, and you know, it's a reason why, you know, I'm still walking and, you know, still doing my thing and, you know, still having fun, because I started thinking about retirement when I was 30 years old. I didn't want to be one of those guys that was going to just ride it out. I say, man, I want to get out and I want to, you know, do what's next in life. You know, life goes in seasons, spring, summer, you know, winter and fall. And I want to be able to enjoy each and every one of them. I don't want to wrestle forever. And, you know, I'm loving life due to, you know, the way I went out and meticulously tried to perform and do nothing, the art of doing nothing.
Book, let me ask you.
Real quick, I just want to say, I've been kind of like a critic on this on this podcast. I don't like the way the guys work today, because I think they work too hard and too like they risk too many things. You don't like, you risk injury too much when you don't have to. You know, like we grew up, like you said, you grew up a time you worked safe, but you worked rough. You know what I'm saying? But these guys work. It's kind of like weird. They kind of like, they don't work rough and they don't work safe. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that.
Yeah. I think it's just a different, and not that they shouldn't think about safety first, because, you know, I got a school and I teach my students safety first. You know what I mean? When we go out here, I got to make sure you okay tomorrow and the following night and the night after that, because we're on this loop together and we both want to get home to our families at the end of this trip, this tour that we own. So I'm thinking about your well-being first and foremost out there. You should be thinking about my well-being. So I got to know, I got to make sure I take care of you. I got to protect you in a certain way. I got to beat you up at the same time. Now, that's a balancing act, you know, most people, find hard to deal with.
But how did you like doing commentary?
You know, man, it's taxing. It's one of those things. But my thing is, man, I'm a role player. I'm a utility guy. I love what I do. But I love doing my stuff with reality of wrestling just as much. My thing is doing the panels on the pay-per-views. I love doing that. It's no restrictions or anything like that. But when you're on live TV for 3 hours straight, it can become challenging. Preparation is the only luck you're gonna have. But for myself, you know, when the time comes, when they call me and say, "Book, we need you back," you know, I'm there, man. It's one of those things, man. It's not easy. It's not as easy as people think.
Let me tell you something.
Especially when you got so many critics. Especially when you got so many critics on Twitter.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Okay, this is something I noticed when you were, because you're like, just everything that you just said in the past 5 minutes. We were talking about, like, you teach kids, you teach safety, you teach stuff. There's one thing I noticed when you're doing commentary, and like, you know, you're kind of like, you're doing commentary for this new age of wrestlers, right? These guys are doing the spots out there where they're like selling the knee, selling the knee, selling the knee, selling the knee. Then all of a sudden, they stop selling the knee and they do run back and forwards and jump and everything and boom and do all these spots, and then they go back to selling the knee. And it was funny because like you would point that out on commentary. And to try to explain that, because like, you know, like people like us are watching, go like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And you would say like, yeah, he had that sudden burst of adrenaline, you know. So like sometimes I like, you're kind of like explaining the way these guys work today. Like, so in your commentary, did you catch yourself doing that a lot?
Well, I was always an analyst, because I try to think about the fan that's watching it, and I got to try to make them be able to understand it. You know, it's always been a saying, and with professional wrestling, you know, they can only see it, they can't feel it. We got to fill in the blanks for them. You know, so that kind of stuff, you know, I would do real well. You know, like such as, you know, my counterpart, you know, Corey Graves. I was talking about, you know, Samoa Joe was jabbing with his right hand. So he was in the southpaw stance, and I go, man, look at that southpaw jab right there. He goes, what's a southpaw jab? What is that? I never heard of that. Well, you would not know, because you don't know boxing. You got to stand in a certain position, and you jab with your right hand when you're a southpaw. That's what, you know, so he doesn't understand that, and I understand that he don't understand, you know. Right. So, but for me to be explaining that is very important to the fan that's watching it, so they can go, oh, man, you know, that, you know, okay, I understand. Or like you just said, you know, a guy get a, you know, make what we call a comeback. And he was just selling your adrenaline. A mother can pick up a car, when her baby is in stress, in dire straits. She'll find that energy. So to be able to elaborate that, I could do that. But as far as commentating goes, I could even do that my way.
Book, you know what I used to love about my favorite thing with you is when you'd be backstage sometimes, and you kind of be in character, be all cocky. You'd have that cigar in your mouth, and you'll be smoking. You'd have that cigar, and be going like, "Man, I'm on the top 5 in the business." And I'd go to you, "Okay, you're number 5." But no, man, I'm top 5. I go, "Well, if you're top 5, then you're number 5. You'd be top 5. Do you remember we used to have that bit we used to do with each other all the time? We just talk about being the top 5.
Man. I talked to William Regal. I talked to William Regal about that all the time. Those guys hated me because I was doing that, man. They wanted to kick my ass all the time. But my thing was, man, I never said I was a top 5 worker. I said entertainer. You know what I mean? And I always believe that. But they wanted me to, they wanted me to, say what number I was, and it wasn't about the number. I was hovering somewhere, within that top 5 all the time,
Why aren't you number 2 then? If you're top 2, you'd be number 2. You go, "No, man, I'm top 5." You go, "Okay, you're number 5."
I don't want to be number. I don't need to be number 2. That's the thing. A lot of people want to be number 1. A lot of people always want to put themselves on top, But myself, I would never do that. I never want to disrespect the other guy that was in the top 5.
That sounds funny stuff, man.
So, Book, what do you got going on, bro? What do you got? And where? You got your wrestling school, right?
Yeah, man. Got my school right now. Got my my wrestling show, Reality of Wrestling. I'm doing Facebook Live every Thursday. Where can people see that?
Where can people see that Reality of Wrestling, Book?
They can see Reality of Wrestling on Fight TV, streaming every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. Check your local listings. But download the Fight TV app. It's FITE. Download that Fight TV app. Check out Reality of Wrestling. We're doing some big things down here. I do a live seminar every Thursday also on WrestleZone's Facebook at 7:30 Central Time also. So, if young guys want to know the art of, wrestling, want to, see an inside look at what, the business could be, check it out. Streaming live every Wednesday on the Facebook, WrestleZone's Facebook. Find me on Booker T5X, man. Booker T5X on Twitter, Booker T5X on Instagram. I don't do Facebook. I mean, Reality Wrestling. I don't need no old girlfriends coming out of the woodwork looking for me or nothing. So from the Facebook, but hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, Booker T5X.
All right, man. Book, I want to thank you for being on Keeping It 100. Boom.